guys, welcome back to another goalkeeping video here at Team Goalie Remy. Today we're going over 5 basic handling techniques. So if you guys want to play at the college level, if you want to play at the pro level, you're going to expect it to have these techniques pretty much perfected. So that's only going to come through repetition, which is going to be on your own time. But I'm going to show you guys the correct form for each one and when to use it. So let's get to it. Alright, so the first technique we're going over is going to be basic handling, dealing with balls into your chest. Maybe they're a little bit higher, but everything's going to be right in this region right here. So first thing you need to know is how to be in a proper keeper ready or set position. So be on the balls of your feet, legs about shoulder width apart. You're going to have your knees slightly bent, arms forward, and your back's going to be slightly leaning forward. So this way you're in an athletic stance so you can adjust to the ball if needed. Alright, so now we're going to be going over what you're actually doing when you're receiving the ball. So first off, whenever a ball's hit into your chest area, you won't be catching it in a W. So you have your thumbs pretty much touching and a hand on each side of the ball. You also want your arms to be loose. You don't want to tense up any of your muscles in your arms when you're about to receive a shot, because that's going to make it very difficult to absorb the momentum of the shot, which is going to make it a lot harder to actually hold cleanly. And lastly, you always need to be on the balls of your feet, because you want your whole body behind the ball. If the ball's a little staggered to the left, you want to be on the left. That way, if it slips through your fingers, it's just going to hit you in the chest, and you just pick it right back up. So to work on this, you just use a wall, and you just send volleys into the wall, where you're just going to volley it, drop into a keeper ready position, and just receive it. So it's going to look like this. 4 circus. No, just drop into your set. Yeah, just like that. Just moving on your toes. Notice getting my whole body behind the ball. You're just taking little steps, getting your chest behind the ball. You're also watching it all the way into your hands. You never want to take your eye off the ball until you have it secured cleanly. And lastly, you don't want to shoot your hands out to attack the ball when you're receiving these shots. You want to just let them come to you and give it a little bit of cushion. Once I feel contact, I kind of just slowly bring it into my chest, so you can take away some of that momentum. And then once you start getting shots with more pace on them, you have a lot easier time holding them. Okay, so the next technique we're going over is a low collapse dive. So to start, just put the ball a couple yards to the side, couple yards in front. And the first few things we need to focus on is 1, getting your toe pointed towards the ball. Your first step needs to be attacking at a forward angle. Since as a keeper, all your saves, whenever possible, you want to be making while diving at a forward angle. This way, the rebounds, you can push them up the field away from pressure. And if it's a ball that really forces you to stretch, if you're diving at an angle, even the smallest bit of your fingertip can wrap it around the post, as opposed to if you're diving backwards or horizontal. If you just get a little piece of it, good chance it's still going in the goal. So the next thing is you need your body low. You want to be low for the collapse dive, so you're getting your body down to the ball to attack it. And as you're doing this, you want to shoot both hands to the ball. An issue that a lot of keepers tend to have on low balls is they like to do this chopping motion, which just takes way too much time when compared to shooting your hand straight down. So those are the first 2 things you need to focus on. So you just start, keep a ready position, point your toe, get low, and shoot both hands. So it should look like this. Alright, so next we're going to be going over what you're actually doing when you're on the ground for a low collapse dive. So same starting point. So first thing, notice how you land on your hip, and notice how I attack it at an angle. It's exactly what you want to be. So if I actually push this ball, it's going in that direction, straight towards the camera, away from pressure. Next, you got your hands. You want one hand on top of the ball, one hand behind the ball, here all the time. Use the ground as your third hand. This way you can easily just pin it against the ground. And when you're taking it, you just glide it across with your body until you're fully extended. So next thing, you got your knee right here. You want it tucked up into your body. This will help you get your momentum attacking the ball, and you don't want it too far out. A lot of times you'll see keepers kind of picking their leg too far up. If a striker's trying to hurdle you and they catch you right here, it's gonna cause injury opening your groin up. And if you have it tucked into your body, say I spill this ball, you can easily use it to propel you back up, get in a keeper ready position, and be ready to make your next save. All right, for the left side, it's almost the exact same technique. The only differences are is one, you're stepping with your left foot to attack the ball, and two, your left hand's gonna be the hand behind the ball, right hand's gonna be the hand on top of the ball. It's just gonna look like this, exactly what we were doing before. And everything else is the same. Okay, so the next technique we're going over is the mid collapse dive. So it's very similar to the low collapse dive. It's just dealing with balls that are a couple feet off the ground, just in this region right here. So your first step is gonna be similar. You're still taking toe, tacking it at angle, but you want to flex this quad right here for as long as possible. So that way, in case the ball takes deflection, maybe it goes a little higher than you thought it was, you can still push off of it and tip it over. Because you don't want to get stuck with here and already going down, and then the ball taking deflection going back here, you're just going to be whiffing at it, and that's not going to do you any good. So, the other thing you got to focus on is anytime you're taking the ball from the air to the ground, you need to have a hand on top of the ball and a hand behind it to pin it against the ground, because it's going to be exerting a lot of force back up at you, and if you don't have the right technique, you're not going to handle it cleanly. To work on this, all you need to do, just toss the ball out at an angle, and you're gonna wait in your keeper ready position until it bounces back up to hip level, and you're just gonna shoot through the ball. So look like this. Okay, so for mid collapse dives for the left side, just like with the low ones, it's almost the exact same technique. You're just stepping with your left foot, and your left hand's behind the ball, right hand's gonna be on top. So another thing you really wanna focus on is being as explosive as possible. So one way to measure this is you can set a cone out where you're consistently landing, and to make that your goal to start diving and landing past that cone. And once you're doing that consistently, put the cone back a bit and then try to get past that one. And you really just want to work out as far as possible and being as explosive as possible. So again, just work on this, just toss it out, keep ready position. Once it's hip level, left foot, you're just gonna dive through it. The next technique we're going over is the front smother. So this is used when the ball's hit directly at you. Maybe it's a step to your left, step to your right. But the advantages of a front smother is that you get your whole body behind the ball. So even if you don't handle it cleanly, you're still gonna make the save with some body part. So if you have the ball staggered off to your right, you're gonna take your first step with your right. You want your foot about even with the ball. As you're doing this, you're dropping your knee and your hands down to where your pinkies are almost touching. Now it's very important not to have this knee actually hit the ground. You'll see a lot of keepers drop their knees and hit the ground. And what this does is it puts all your weight on this knee and on this heel to where you're stuck in the ground and you can't react at all. All you can do is you just have wherever your arms are, but if there's a deflection, you misread the ball, you're sunk. So if you keep this knee up right here, if there's a deflection, you can easily pop right back into your keeper ready position. So right here, step, knee down, pinkies up, and you're gonna scoop it into your chest and just let your body weight take you forward. You're gonna land on your forearms and you're just gonna kind of kick your legs out behind you. You'll feel once you get the technique down, it all comes very naturally. All right, it's for front smother. So if the ball's staggered to your left, then you're just gonna step with your left foot and drop your right knee. And also, if the ball's coming directly straight at you, you can just pick whatever leg you're more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable stepping with your right leg, dropping your left knee, that's fine. And if you're more comfortable stepping with your left leg and dropping your right knee, that's fine. So this is what it's gonna look like, full speed. And then if your team's winning 1-0, you do this in a game, just lay on the ground for a few seconds, let your defense recover, maybe take some time off the clock, and you can just get up and move on. All right, lastly, we're gonna be going over high balls. So the first thing you need to know about whenever you're dealing with a high ball or a cross is you're always jumping off one leg. And what determines what leg you're gonna jump off is wherever pressure is coming from. So if a striker is challenging for a ball or pressuring you from the left side, you're gonna jump off your right leg and lift your left knee to protect yourself. And if they're pressuring you from the right side, you're gonna jump off your left leg and lift your right knee to protect yourself. The other thing you need to be aware of is you don't wanna get stuck under the ball, so you're just jumping straight up to attack it. Because that way all your momentum's just going up. It makes it a lot easier for someone just to nudge you off the ball, which will make it a lot more difficult to hold it. So what you want is you want to be attacking through the ball at the highest point, and that way your body momentum will take you through any contact that someone gives you. So to work on this, all you need to do is you're just gonna bounce the ball off the ground and you're just gonna attack it at an angle at the highest point. So it's gonna be down here, and you're always gonna land on 2 feet. Whenever possible, you wanna land on 2 feet. So if you're just going to the right, here, here. And when you catch it, you're using the same technique as the handling. You're trying to just use the W because you're attacking forward with the ball. So it's gonna be the same technique that you use as if the ball's coming straight at you. All right, that's the video. If you guys wanna play at a high level, you're gonna be expected to know how to use these techniques properly, and also you're gonna be expected to know when to use them. So really, for a lot of you younger keepers, have this be a focus point in your training. You wanna build up your technique first and then start working up to the upper 90 saves, all the flashy stuff, but you wanna start with the basics, and that's gonna help you progress as a player as opposed to just going out and trying to just look flashy the entire time, because coaches are not gonna be interested if they see that your technique isn't right. So as always, make sure you guys subscribe if you want to keep up with our goalkeeping content. Also make sure that you follow our Instagram. We post on there daily. So until next time, peace.
Do re mi fa sol la hit is go Lou re mi control all them boys from Kansas City where they know we got them tricks. We get it how we live and know we all about them kicks. Work hard and play hard, chase our dreams is how we